Hello, I'm Coach Michael Taylor, and welcome to Adversity is Your Greatest Ally. I was watching a movie the other day, and the title of the movie is I Think I Love My Wife with Chris Rock. And as I watched the movie, I got to thinking about it. And I got to thinking about my own wife. And I started kind of reflecting on marriage as a whole. And in response to the title of the movie, I can say that I know I love my wife. I don't just think I love my wife. And amazingly, in our society and culture, especially for men, it's almost like there's some shame in saying that. It's like men have this idea that saying that they love their wives, that somehow makes them weak or whipped. And so I wanted to just share a couple of reasons why I love my wife. And as I'm sitting here thinking about her now, I've got this big smile on my face because I spent a lot of time and energy, first of all, getting in touch with Michael Taylor. So when I decided to remarry, I didn't want to bring any baggage into my marriage and my relationship. And that's one of the reasons why my marriage really works, because I've done a lot of work. But I also knew exactly what I was looking for when I decided that I wanted to remarry. And when I found my wife, she had everything that I was looking for. Now, of course, nobody's perfect, but I do believe that there's a perfect person for everybody. And that's my wife. She's perfect for me. And in a lot of ways, she's completely opposite of what I thought I would look for in a relationship, in a marriage. But I've come to know that, as mentioned, she's absolutely perfect for me. So I just want to share some of the things that I love about it, because it's actually pretty amazing. First of all, when my wife and I first got together, I let her know that I didn't want to have any kids because I had 3 kids already. And it was really important to me that she understood that if children were really important to her, then I probably wasn't the guy she should be with. And after she thought about it for a while, she decided that she was okay with that. And that takes a lot for a woman to make that choice. And that's definitely one of the reasons why I love her, because she made that choice. She decided that it was more important for her to just be with me and not have kids than to try to be with somebody else and to have kids. And that, to me, says a lot about her. I love that about her. She was willing to do that. Another reason that I love my wife is on our very first date, I took my wife to Pizza Hut. And interestingly enough, she thought that I was kind of faking her out. She thought that maybe I was hiding something, like I wanted to test her to see if she was the type of person that would actually go to Pizza Hut on the first date. But I didn't have any agenda. I just happen to like pizza and don't believe in spending a lot of money on the first date. That's just me. Well, anyway, we went on our first date at Pizza Hut. And she was absolutely okay with that. Didn't bother her at all. So that told me immediately that she was the type of person that wasn't materialistic. And she was really looking for someone who she could really connect with and create a relationship with. As a matter of fact, I remember telling her that if she's looking for a guy that's going to just shower her with gifts and try to buy her love, that's not me. I told her that up front. And she was cool with that. She was like, well, that's not what I'm looking for. She says, I've had that before. That's not what I want. She says, I just want a man who I can create a great relationship with. She didn't use those words, but that's basically what she said. And so that's another reason why I love my wife, because she's not materialistic. And nothing makes her happier than making me happy. And I remember when we first met, I was working in a department store and I was a cashier, and she would come into the store and she'd get in line and she'd sometimes try to surprise me, and I'd be running the cash register and I'd look up and there she'd be. And she'd have this huge smile on her face. And she would just come in and say hello. And I absolutely loved that about her because she loved me for me. It's a beautiful thing. But really, the primary reason, well, maybe not the primary reason, but one of the biggest things that I love about my wife. Well, here's the thing. When I first introduced my youngest son to my wife, this was before we got married. My son was about 15. And I took my son to her job to introduce him to her. And so after they met, we left my wife's job and we were getting in the car. And as we're driving away, my son looks over at me and he goes, "Dad, she really loves you." And I go, "What?" He goes, "Man, she really loves you." I go, "Why do you say that?" And he said, "Did you notice? Did you see the way she lit up when you walked in? I mean, when you walked in, she just lit up." And I kind of smiled and I said, "Yeah, that's Miss B. That's what she does. She just lights up when I show up." And so here we are 16 years later. And when I walk into her job to see her, she does the same thing. She still lights up. And so that to me is pretty amazing. And that's how I know my wife loves me. And that's why, another reason why I love her. And so I know with absolute certainty that it's possible for marriages to be wonderful. And it is possible for two people to create a partnership in which they have a partnership that they go through life together as partners. And that's what my wife and I have. We're partners in life. And I made the absolute best choice for myself in choosing my wife. She's absolutely perfect for me. And I know that all of this is only possible because of the time I spent in understanding myself and loving myself first before I decided to try to find someone else to love. So if you're wanting to create a marriage that truly works, if you're wanting to create a relationship that really works, you got to do your own work first. You got to figure out what it is about you that may be keeping you from creating the love that you crave. Because it all begins with you. The first relationship that you have to have is the relationship with yourself. And if you're not willing to do that, then you'll never create a deep, intimate, connected relationship. So I don't just think I love my wife. I know I love my wife because my wife is absolutely perfect for me. And our relationship is perfect in all of its imperfections. And if I can do it, so can you. Good luck.